lovely bottled butter beer here at the Butterbeer bar.
I've already poured. There's no alcohol in this. It's really important to say that, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
very important.
No alcohol, and it's vegan friendly as well.
I love it.
How good is that? Gonna drink it
The
like that.
detail. Are you going to go straight from the
I was gonna
bottle?
ask
You could do,
Yeah.
since it's bottled and not draft like normal. Is this good?
Oh my god, guys, it's so lovely.
Cheers.
This is like such an incredible experience, and I'm a Harry Potter fan, but I know there's other people that are like itching to get into this exhibition. Have you looked around yet, or is this your first time here?
Yeah, we had looked as we came in earlier, and it's going to sound really lame, this, but it is like a memory lane for us, because whenever we watch, if the films are on, I find it, I don't know about you, but I find it very hard to watch it as a film. I remember what we're doing behind the scenes.
Right.
And what's great about like the studio tour and this, you see the people that make it, like you see the crew working, and you know, a lot of those people are our friends to this day, so it's great to see those memories come flooding back.
Yeah. Is there any moments where you're like, oh my god, the days we used to have to dye our hair? Because I didn't know you guys were fake gingers, by the way. I thought you were.
We ruin it for
I
people
know,
when we meet
it's
them,
like,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah, it's quite funny. People seem to get more offended that we're not actually redheads as opposed to we didn't actually fly broomsticks. But anyway,
The hair dye wasn't the worst part, the eyebrows,
Yeah,
our eyebrows dyed.
I think it's just actually seeing a lot of the photos, because the good thing about the presentation of it is that they're in, it's not just here's one film, here's another film. So you kind of see the progression of how the sets evolve and how the costumes change and stuff. But no, just looking at it, I just think it's amazing like how, it's, what did we say, it's 20 years ago, 10 years ago tomorrow since the last premiere.
Wow.
Which is crazy, and it's gone so quickly. But to think we're 20 years ago since the first film, and that's gone even quicker as well. So it's just great to be able to step back and you see, as I said, you see pictures of things like here. For some reason, I thought the exhibition was just going to be like an art gallery, with photos on the wall, not this immersive thing we've got here.
Yeah.
So it's been great walking around. There's obviously they've got a few other things here as well, like a few of the costumes and sets. And stuff.
Yeah, and the other thing that I think is fascinating is people get on a broomstick and do the whole green screen thing and think they're flying around London. Now, you've done that in the movies. How much excitement do you think people are going to get recreating that and then taking that home with them?
A lot, and I can speak from actually seeing people. So in the studio tour, it's amazing whenever I know people who work there have told me of such things. They've got dads who take their kids, and the dad kind of like, I'm not that bothered, I'm here for the kids. As soon as there's a green screen opportunity, kids are out of the way, dad's on, like, really giving it to someone, doing the whole broomstick thing. But I think that's definitely, we were talking about earlier, weren't we, how obviously you can get your photo done there, but there's so many other opportunities to have your photo, you know, just a selfie in front of your favourite. Like if there's a picture of a set from behind the scenes or something, there's something going on. And I also know, so on the sixth film, I've got 2 credits. I've got my credit for.
Okay.
He always gets this in.
AD,
Always
right.
gets
Yeah, hello.
Thank you. Yeah. So
Getting paid twice.
exactly, not a lot for the second one. But the London Bridge, there's a photo of when the Millennium Bridge is breaking apart. I was on the crew which filmed that day, and that took a whole weekend to do, even though it's on the film for a couple of minutes. But it's that just that is really fun to remember. And
I think the good thing is, because obviously when you're seeing it in the film, you see the polished, finished article. You don't see the crew waiting on the side. You don't see, you know, there's one photo we saw where I think it was Helena Bonham Carter's last day, and there's a couple of us in the background. And you kind of just like, that's how I remember it, because that's how it happened. And you kind of forget, because the photographers were there so regularly with us, you kind of forget they're there.
Yes.
And so there wasn't any posing going on.
There's no posing going on. It wasn't just.
You guys are so lucky. There was nobody filming for Instagram and capturing like secret
exactly,
moments. You know what I mean?
I think that was all. I think Twitter maybe had just started.
Right.
Getting popular on the last film, maybe, I don't know. But yes, there was none of that. So a lot of that is the fact. How old is this now? Showing our age. But it's shown that it's so that you can see people from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And that just shows, because obviously being actors in it, you're the front of it, but there's so many people behind it what make it happen.
Absolutely, and your 20-year anniversary, it sounds insane to even say that out loud. Do you still feel like, I mean, do you get like me and other fans that when you said you can't watch the films when they're on TV? So what?
Well, I can. No, I can.
You can.
He says this. He watches his bit and then
box sets. No, I get but it's just that I can't watch it as everybody else, because I'm remembering what we did when we were.
So are you critiquing your performance rather than just watching it and getting lost?
I used to. Now I've realised that I can't do that,
Yes.
and it was quite a long time
And
ago.
plus, she was so young.
Exactly, yeah.
Grew. But okay, so both of you, most memorable, because this exhibition shows us so many different memories. For you, what was the most memorable moment? And then, I guess the tough one. I'm thinking it's probably the last day, but tell me what
The
do you
toughest
think?
moment.
Yeah.
I'll go for the toughest moment first.
Okay.
Third film. It's probably not what anyone said. The third film, the Quidditch sequence in the third movie.
That was horrible. That's one thing I would say though
Yeah.
with the Quidditch thing here.
Yeah.
If they could do that, because
You
it
know,
was
wet, right?
because it was set in a storm. So literally, so you're on this rig, so you're already uncomfortable on a broomstick, and then right before the old action, you get a load of water thrown over you, and then wind blown into your face. So that was probably the most. And you're in clothes as well, so obviously it's very heavy and like
Yeah.
drama of the job. Yeah, watch that. But the best, I would say, seeing the burrows. There's a lot of photos when we're filming the burrows. That was always fun because, without sounding really naff, we were like a family. Like the Weasleys were a big family, and even when they would call you to cut, and then you normally go off the set. When you're in the burrows, everybody would just hang out on the sofas or something like that. So,
That's so
yeah,
nice.
that was a fun memory.
Back for you. What would you say?
I'd say hardest moment. Probably there's this scene in the Great Hall in the Battle of Hogwarts scene. That was more because like they saw you get into character like before we did before I did it. Obviously, you get an emotional state before you leave the dressing room. But then getting on set and a makeup artist comes over to me and just blows a load of eucalyptus in my eyes.
Oh gosh.
That was the worst bit. That was probably the hardest bit. But then in terms of the best, I think I saw a picture of Diagon Alley actually, and it's from the first film on Diagon Alley. Now a bit later on they kept obviously the set, but when Weasleys was in there, and that was probably my favourite time filming.
There's a new series coming, and there is the Broadway musical also in the works. And I think Rupert and some of your gang fellow cast have spoken about, what would it be like to recreate Harry Potter and how it could be now. I like the idea of the future with you guys, because there's a lot of time travel things going on at the moment with series like Loki.
You've also got say if they did a series in Weasleys visiting Weasleys.
That's like a priest. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you could also have I suppose Fred would be like the ghost who haunts the
Security.
Yeah. It could be either really dark or really light comedy. I don't know.
Or your magic powers could be insane and you could bring him back.
Yeah. You could do, really
What a product that would be!
Yes.
Yeah, Insta life.
And I know you guys are podcasters now as well, so I just wanted to mention everybody check out their podcast. It's awesome. You're all over the news today, guys. You've got a real ginger. He doesn't dye his hair. Ed Sheeran. I know he's a huge fan, and I hope he comes to this exhibition. How nuts to finally sit down with him after all these years of these pictures floating around.
Yeah, it was. So that came about a while ago. It was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Someone tweeted us saying, "Did you know this is in his manager's contract, Stuart's contract, that he has to have a photo of James and I on him at all times?" So we kind of basically the guys who help us with the podcast reached out to his team, and it's kind of took about 6 months or so to line everyone up to be able to chat. But
Both Stuart and
nice
it was
guys,
so
brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, they literally had about 2 hours we were chatting to them, and he was saying it's his first podcast he's done in ages, but he's a big part fan, so I'm sure that you'd love this exhibition as well.
I know, exactly, and I did hear that he got a government call during the podcast to say, are you currently quarantining because you've arrived in the country, and then it interrupted. Did that actually happen?
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, we fast forwarded it in the thing, but
Okay, guys, it was lovely to talk to you both. I hope your family and friends are going to come to the exhibition.
Thank you. I'm
sure they will. Sure they'll love it.
Okay, good to catch up with you both, and thank you for all the joy that you brought. We've loved the films. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.